Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Jim Kleiber Show. Today is Wednesday, November 25th, 2020. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day here in the United States. And I'm taking tomorrow and Friday off from the podcast because why not? I think sometimes we need to take holidays, we need to take some breaks. This is episode 77, which means I have done this show, I had a few extra episodes. So what am I at now? Is that 15 straight weeks? I think 15 straight weeks of the show. Whew. So tomorrow and Friday I will be off, and then as well Saturday and Sunday, and I'll be back Monday. But today, in lieu of, because of the holiday, I wanted to talk about Thanksgiving. And more than the holiday itself, I want to talk about feeling grateful. It can be kind of a boring, kind of forced trope on holidays. You sit at the table and, what are you grateful for, Timmy? Going around and kind of forcing people to say it out loud in front of people. And sometimes I find that exercise to be disingenuous, where it's kind of like pushing people to communicate out loud when they don't necessarily want to. So for me, I'm going to communicate a little bit of what I'm feeling grateful for, and I hope that you pause and think about what you're feeling grateful for. If you want to share it to yourself, fantastic. If you want to share it with someone in your family, fantastic. If you want to share it with strangers online, fantastic. It's up to you who you want to share it with. I'd hope that you at least share it with yourself. But even then, if you don't want to, that's totally fine. I like this idea of letting people do what they actually want to do instead of forcing them to do things. Why talk about gratitude? I think a lot of times it's easy to overlook the things that we have because we have them. And I think that's part of the human psychology, is that when something it becomes a habit for us, it becomes predictable for us, we just overlook that the thing is there. So what I really like about gratitude is just pausing and realizing the things that we do have, the things that we don't have, and are grateful that we don't have in a way. And just recognizing, because I think it pulls us back into the present moment. Sadness can be about losing something from the past. Anxiety can be about something in the future. Excitement can be about something in the future. Anger can be very present, but gratitude as well can be very present for what we currently are experiencing. So I can get started. Let's see. What am I grateful for? I feel grateful that I can open up the tap and pour water and drink the water. Having lived in many countries where drinking the tap water is quite dangerous, I feel really grateful that I can do that here. I feel grateful that the electricity is constant. Having lived in countries where electricity can come and go, I feel really grateful for that. I feel grateful that the heater in the house works very well. Having been in places where the heater doesn't work, I could start to really freeze in the winter. And again, the unpredictability of not knowing whether the house will be warm or cold. I feel grateful to have this really nice laptop. I don't know if I'd be able to run these shows if I didn't have a laptop that was very stable, but also quite high powered, all things considered. And I feel grateful for the internet connection that I have, that it's stable and that it's quite fast. For the progress that we've made in internet technology over the years, over my lifetime, goodness. I remember as a kid using, I think it was Prodigy and AOL, America Online and CompuServe, I believe it was, where you'd use the dial-up modem and hear that was a horrible impression. So I feel grateful for the progress that has been made in internet technology. I feel grateful that my dad helped me set up the lighting here. I think it looks quite nice. Excuse me. I feel grateful that the other day this is weird to admit, I was eating and I had to sneeze. and I didn't want to sneeze the food everywhere, and so I kind of didn't sneeze out. But the problem is it kind of reflected back, and so then I kind of and I swallowed, not I inhaled rather some of the chicken that I was eating. Oh, it was horrible. So I feel really grateful that the body responded and kicked it up. That created the phlegm and created the cough response and other things like this, cough reflex. What else do I feel grateful for? I feel grateful that everyone in my household is taking the virus very seriously, and that while my sister did travel home for the holidays, she's home for 5 weeks, so it seems to make more sense, and she's being very cautious in the house, wearing a mask and stuff like this. I feel grateful that the weather is relatively predictable here right now, that there aren't thunderstorms or that there aren't tornadoes, that there aren't hurricanes or tsunamis coming through, that there's not a huge earthquake threat here as well, so that the environment is relatively predictable. I feel grateful for the sun to not be out, ironically, because it slows down. And I think sometimes I feel grateful for that opportunity to slow down instead of feeling like I have to go. I feel grateful that the Detroit Lions play football on Thanksgiving Sunday or Thanksgiving Thursday. Feel thankful that there's still some traditions that we can celebrate during this challenge time. I feel grateful that they are at least good enough to not get blown out every game. The games are typically always close, so I feel grateful that the games are exciting, not just getting destroyed every week. What else? I feel grateful for this house, to have this house and to have stability in my life. This house has been here my whole life, and so just to have that familiarity with the location so intimately. I feel grateful for that. I feel grateful that I still have a lot of things from my childhood as I'm going through and exploring what to keep and what to get rid of. I feel grateful that I can pull out some things and think of the memories and, from, all the way from childhood to high school, to college, to being overseas and stuff like this. What else do I feel grateful for? It's really easy, sometimes just looking around and seeing things and how I feel grateful. Oh, I feel grateful that there's a blanket over there that my mom knitted. Oh, I feel grateful that she knit the blanket, I feel grateful for beer. Oh, beer is fantastic. You know what I mean? It just can feel so refreshing at times and just almost be like a collective sigh. When people take that first sip of beer. What else? I feel grateful for the holidays as I look up and see some holiday decorations. I feel grateful that we have holidays, that we have these annual traditions to bring people together, to have fun, to celebrate different parts of humanity. Right? So at least here, Thanksgiving is much more about gratitude, and Christmas is kind of much more about love and giving. And then New Year's is kind of about rejuvenation and starting fresh. 4th of July is more about pride, celebrating pride. Memorial Day is much more about grief and sadness and remembrance of people who have passed from the military. Veterans Day is more about gratitude, but specifically towards people who were in the military, and gratitude towards those who protect us. What other emotions go along with different holidays? Halloween is a combination of fear, but playfulness and creativity. What else? Oh, and because a lot of the costumes are like sexy nurse, and so there's a sexual seductive element to it as well, depending on the group. What else is there? Oh, Valentine's is about love and romance and about being romantic, surprises, dinners, things like this. What other holidays do we have here in the U.S.? I wonder, are your holidays similar, that each holiday kind of has a different emotional flavor to it? Huh. something worth reflecting on. Then again, I can find many things worth reflecting on. What else do we have? Looking around. Grateful for my health. I feel really grateful that I haven't contracted COVID yet, that nobody in my close family has. I feel grateful that even though I haven't exercised a lot this year, that I still feel relatively strong. What else? Oh, we have a comment. Hey, okay. Grandparents lived in Hudson. We used to save our pennies to buy candy, and I still remember the odor of wood shavings in my grandfather's garage, fishing for perch in the St. Croix. I think it's St. Croix, how you pronounce it. Yeah, just grateful to have these memories. Grateful to be able to remember things. I've seen a few things lately talking about dementia as people get older, and I'm grateful that I currently have the ability to remember. Maybe in the future I won't, but right now I do, and I really appreciate that. What else makes me feel grateful? What makes you feel grateful? If you're chiming in, please throw stuff in the comments. If you don't want it read out loud, please let me know, because often I'll just read it out loud. Oh, what else do we got? I feel grateful to be in this country. For as much as the chaos that happens politically, it's not compared to a lot of chaos around the world in other countries. I have friends in Ethiopia right now who some of their relatives are in the northern part of Ethiopia, and the government cut off communication with the northern part. So they haven't talked to their friends and family in over 20 days. And there are military attacks that are happening in the north. The government, the national government, is attacking what's going on in the north. So we had a push me, pull you back then. What do you mean by that? What else? Yeah, I feel grateful that for as as chaotic as this country can seem, there's still a lot of predictability and stable systems in a way that really help me get through my day. Just the idea that something like the bank that I've been using has been around for a very long time. Many restaurants that I go to have been there for a very long time. Yes, things change, but grateful for stability in some ways. Also grateful for change. That there are new things popping up here and there, that there are new people to meet, that grateful that a lot of my friends are experimenting with new ways to connect with people over the internet, starting new groups on Facebook or different Zoom calls, or reaching out and talking to me, or even dating apps. Honestly, I've been able to meet a lot of people through this time over dating apps and just chatting with new people and seeing different perspectives. Really grateful that we still have that opportunity. The internet provides that opportunity to many of us. What else do I feel grateful for? That I still kind of fit into this shirt. I've been gaining a little bit of weight, and so I'm glad that this shirt still fits, and hopeful that it will fit better in the future. What else? Grateful that I have clothes that last a long time. Part of me is annoyed that I have to clean out so much stuff and kind of get rid of stuff that already works. But also grateful that, my family was able to afford things that were higher quality. And grateful for the people that ensured regulatory compliance, and so many people along the way. Grateful for the people who made the shirt, right? Who made it with good quality so that it lasts long. Grateful for the environment where I am so that the clothes don't deteriorate because of sun or heat or stuff like this. Grateful for a lot of things, just riffing here. I'm sure you could feel a lot of these things. Let's see. It was a 2-seat thing that had a lever where we pushed and pulled. Like a little game, like kind of a back and forth, not like a seesaw, but something where you sat down. I think I've seen something like that or played on something like that before. I can't remember. I'm grateful that we have people of different generations. with different memories and different perspectives. Me, somebody, I grew up, born in the 80s, grew up in the 90s, pretty much. And so that's kind of my childhood experience. But having someone who grew up in the 70s or grew up in the 60s or grew up in the 50s, 40s, who knows what, or even grew up in 2000s, and have those conversations to hear what childhood was like for those people. Yeah. I feel really grateful that we're all very similar in many ways, but quite different. Gone through very different experiences. It brings different perspectives to the world. What else? I'm grateful that we got a sparkling water thing here in the house, this thing called SodaStream, where basically I can just take tap water and turn it into sparkling water, carbonated water. I love it. Oh, man. Goodness. It has taken the apple cider experience to the next level. Because normally an apple cider can be really strong and really dense. But if I take apple cider and I add sparkling water to it, if I add water to it, it can dilute it, but then it's kind of watery. But if I add sparkling water to it, it becomes like this gourmet experience. And it doesn't have as much sugar. Voila. What else? I feel grateful that people listen to the show. I don't know how many do, but I feel grateful that some people chime in and learn something from this. We have a new comment. Hey, we have someone who says, I feel grateful to be living in Italy for the first time in many years and rediscover my culture and my country. Amen to that. At times, I could feel really annoyed and frustrated with being home in the house, and at times I feel really grateful for being here. I feel grateful that I was here when my mom was going through chemotherapy. I feel grateful to have experienced so many different events while being home for the year, and to really soak myself into American culture. Previous years, I had traveled a lot, and I guess this person has as well, Valeria. The previous, in 2018, I was outside the U.S. for, I think, 7 or 8 months. So in across Europe and across Africa. So to be back home in the U.S. and to really be here through this time, I feel really grateful for that. What else do people feel grateful for? What do I feel grateful for? I feel grateful that this house is still standing in pretty good condition. I feel grateful that the people who built it with care and consideration. And again, according to regulations, and that we have regulations that help in terms of construction. What else? I'm searching around. I think that's one exercise. If you're trying to feel something, just search around and look for stuff. I feel grateful for this hair. I'm, as much as I think I'm losing it a little bit up here in the edges, and the hairline, I feel grateful that I have hair. I feel grateful that the hair feels pretty healthy. I feel grateful that I have glasses that can correct my vision. I feel grateful I got hit in the mouth when I was a kid. I got hit in the tooth. I feel grateful I didn't lose the tooth. Although it's changed colors over the year, I feel pretty grateful that I had this. My teeth are still in pretty darn good condition. What else? I feel grateful for silence. Oh, silence. I feel grateful for people commenting on the show. I feel grateful for wood. I feel grateful for wood and for the trees that we have and for our ability to reuse the trees, but also to, even after they die, keep them living in a way by being part of our lives. What else do I feel grateful for? So one exercise you could do, right now I'm just saying I feel grateful for this and just going I feel grateful for this. One series of questions you can ask yourself, and I do often, is I call it like an emotional deepening exercise. And so you can start and say, what's one thing that currently makes me feel blank? And you can choose whichever emotion. So in this case, I'll say, what's one thing that currently makes me feel grateful? And I'll say sitting here. And then I go, okay, what's another thing that currently makes me feel grateful? And I go, oh, the squeaking floorboard, to know that I'm not alone in the house. What's one other thing that currently makes me feel grateful? Let's say that we have an abundance of supplies here, that we may have stocked up well for the pandemic in the winter. What's another thing that makes me feel grateful? That we have a freezer here to stock up well for the food, and that when the light blinks, it reminds me that it's there. What's another thing that makes me feel grateful? So it's this kind of like, start with one emotion, one thing, and then ask what's another thing, what's another thing, what's another thing that makes me feel that. I find it really helps me deepen the feeling, even more so than what I was doing earlier when I was saying I feel grateful for this, I feel grateful for that, because there's something about question and answer that almost surprises me in a way. When I say I feel grateful, I'm searching around, I'm looking for something. But when I say, what's another thing that makes me feel grateful? And I go, in that moment, I'm like, oh, I don't know. I have to answer. Like, there's what am I going to say? And then boom. I feel grateful for plastic. As much as I dislike plastic, I like how plastic has revolutionized like baskets and crates and has helped out in a lot of ways. What's another thing I feel grateful for? I feel grateful for water. Oh, water. We have water. Thank goodness. I live here in Michigan. There's lots of water around. Many parts of the world struggle with water and with fresh, clean water. So I feel grateful for water and for clean water. What's another thing I feel grateful for? Electricity. I talked about it a little bit with the stability of electricity, but just electricity in general. It's magic. It's like magic. How we can transport it over long distances, how it could be created in one part of the country and then used in a different part, how it could be created from many different things, how you can do one thing over here and then it creates this effect over here. I feel grateful for the magic of electricity. What's another thing I feel grateful for? I feel grateful for magnets because they're fun and they also do a lot. So on my computer, I have this, it's an old MacBook Pro. It's got something called MagSafe, which means that the plug is actually magnetically attached to the computer. So if somebody trips and hits the cord, it will disconnect from the computer without the whole computer falling down. I feel grateful for the magnets that make that possible and for the engineers who thought up this genius thing. I feel angry that the people took it away, but I feel grateful that I still have a laptop that has it. What else? What's another thing that makes me feel grateful? What's another thing that currently makes me feel grateful? Sitting here in the basement, having a space to myself to do these podcasts, for carving out this niche. Niche in the the absolute term of kind of the small little space. What's another thing that currently makes me feel grateful? Having this platform, StreamYard, because I was trying to figure out how to live stream this stuff using the current computer, and it's tough. It was difficult to use open broadcasting software. I think it's called OBS, and StreamYard came along and made it a lot simpler for me. So I'm grateful for that. What's another thing that currently makes me feel grateful? That I can draw decently. That if I have an idea, I can draw it out on paper and it kind of looks like I want it to look like. I'm no expert. I'm no artiste, but to have the ability to write with my hands, basically, to have, I feel grateful for my hands and for the dexterity that they have and still have. What's another thing currently makes me feel grateful? I think my mom is making a pumpkin pie today. Ooh, that's more excited, perhaps. What's another thing currently makes me feel grateful? The time is coming to an end soon. This has seemed like a long podcast, and I have no idea how it will land with you. If it'll bore you, I think I sometimes assume I know how it's going to make people feel and get stuck in that instead of pulling back and assuming that people will feel lots of different things. So some may feel bored, some may feel excited, some may feel relaxed, some may feel frustrated, some may feel grateful. Who knows? Another thing currently makes me feel grateful is that people respond differently to the same thing. If everyone responded the same way, I think I would be bored. But I feel grateful that there's a variety of responses. What's another thing that currently makes me feel grateful? That I don't know everything. I feel grateful that I don't know things. Because then I can just relax and let go. What's another thing that currently makes me feel grateful? Air, oxygen, breathing. I mean, it seems so absolutely basic, but have you ever been in a place where the air was tight, or the air was didn't have so much oxygen, or it was filled with a lot of smoke, or things like this? I feel grateful to be in a place where I feel pretty safe breathing, especially in a time now with all this a pandemic that's caused by a respiratory virus, or a virus that's contracted through respiratory tract. I feel grateful to be here, relaxed, knowing that I can breathe, and feeling almost certain that I'll be safe. What else? I think I'm going to end in a minute or two here. What are you feeling grateful for? Last chance to throw it out, put it into the comments, get it on the show. I hope this exercise helps you realize that, the question of, what are you feeling grateful for? It's a question, again, that we ask a lot during Thanksgiving. Oh, what's one thing you feel grateful for? Go around the table and share. I think, hey, love you, my friend. I love you too, Darko, man. Glad to see you here. Feel grateful for my friends. Feel really grateful that I have the friends in my life that support me no matter what, even though I've done some crazy things over the years. Even though I go out of communication, I disappear sometimes. I'm grateful that my friends and my family have supported me the whole way and seem to love me unconditionally. I don't know if I could ask for anything more. Feeling grateful doesn't have to be about a big thing. When somebody asks you, oh, what are you feeling grateful for this Thanksgiving? It doesn't have to be a big thing. It can be a really small thing. It can be a really something that seems insignificant to somebody else. You could say, I feel really grateful for the shirt. And people are like, what? You're like, yeah, I love this shirt. Or you could say, oh, I feel really grateful for this one song. I love this song. Or I feel really grateful for this table. Oh, I miss this table. Or I feel really grateful for this person, to have this person here at the dinner table with us. Or I feel really grateful for this person not being here because it says that they're taking the virus seriously. Or I feel really grateful for blah, blah, blah. So many things at so many different levels. It doesn't have to be a huge thing. It doesn't have to be this competition of, oh, I have to come up with the best thing for feeling grateful for. Nah, just come up with something. And just say it to yourself if you want, or say it to others. But, I've talked a lot about the things that I feel grateful for. And I think sometimes it's easier for me to say that than it is for me to say the people I feel grateful for. I feel grateful for my parents. I feel grateful for my sister. I feel grateful for my friends. I feel grateful for ex-girlfriends. I feel grateful for the teachers, the celebrities along the way, the mentors, the politicians. I feel grateful for even the people who have robbed me and hurt me along the way. Because I've learned something from everyone, and in a way, people have supported me even if they weren't trying to support me. So I feel grateful for y'all, and I want to say have a grateful, happy Thanksgiving, and yeah, talk to you on Monday. All right, take care, y'all.